In the last video, I pretty much busted my ass creating a review for a movie I have little history with, and Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure is no better. It was released in 2001 and is pretty much your standard puppy sequel. It has father and son stuff, a couple of songs, you name it. But the bizarre thing is that Lady and the Tramp 2 is never talked about whatsoever. When I was ranking the songs, I tried finding the song Junkyard Society on YouTube, but with just the lyrics, and it's nowhere. And nobody makes a single footnote, nor a cough when they're doing the Disney sequel rankings. Not worst list, not best list, and not even the honorable mentions. Seriously, doing the investigations, Lady and the Tramp 2 Scamp's Adventure is probably the most forgotten Disney direct-to-DVD sequel ever. Though, maybe this video might actually make people aware of this movie again. Who knows? Let's not question the future. So, is Lady and the Tramp 2 good? Let's find out. The story starts off in the same town as the first movie, and instead of it being Christmas, it's now Independence Day. So Scamp, voiced by Scott Wolf, is the only brother of 3 sisters and is an overactive, troublemaking dog who longs to explore the outside world.
I always get blamed for everything.
You did everything! So after a temper tantrum, Scamp escapes the yard and goes after a gang of strays to join him. One of them he has a crush on. The stray dog, voiced by Alyssa Milano, is named Angel, and one of the other dogs is voiced by Bill Fagerbake, who played Patrick Star in SpongeBob. Just thought I should point that last information out, because it definitely wasn't obvious. Like, nobody could tell it's him.
Hey, you got off the leash!
We then get a song number from the gang leader, Buster, voiced by Chaz Palminteri, who decides to put Scamp up through a few tests to see if it can keep up with them. But he ends up causing chaos, doing better than what he was supposed to do, and everyone starts liking him. Buster had never seen such bullshit before. After the strays hang out, Buster tells Scamp the story of him and his best friend, who betrayed him and chose the life of a house dog. Can you guess who it is? Is it A, a soda, B, an expensive haircut, or C, Tramp? Dear audience, you've chosen
Our sofa.
What?
So Buster, who pretty much hates Tramp's face, starts recognizing some features about Scamp and threatens him. Later, Scamp and Angel start exchanging their backgrounds and have almost the same romance montage as the first movie. But then Angel sees how much Scamp's family misses him and now sees Scamp as a selfish old dog turd. Buster then finds out about the similarity between Scamp and Tramp and tricks Scamp into leaving his family for good, and then turns around and gets him caught by the dog catcher, which is worse because Buster had ripped off Scamp's collar. Angel then gets Tramp for help, who gets to the pound surprisingly fast. Scamp gets rescued and his family takes Angel in, a dog who probably hadn't gotten her shots. The end. So let's talk about the movie. I would kind of consider this a raw review since I only saw it once in my entire 19 years of life. Let's start with the main character. Scott Wolf was not the best voice actor to play a puppy. It was obviously Disney's way to get a big actor name into their movie and attract an audience, but it doesn't work. It comes out distracting, especially surprising when you're expecting him to be voiced by a child with a high voice.
Give me your fucking money!
And getting onto the topic of Scamp, he's an absolute ungrateful child. Literally, from puppy on up, he's dealt with baths, beds, and house rules, but all of a sudden, it's such a problem for him. Maybe I'm not finding this relatable because I don't have children, or because I didn't complain on what I had when I was younger, but where the hell did this attitude come from? For whatever reason, Tramp never told his kids that he was a stray before he met their mother, so for Scamp's case, it's not, I want to be wild and free like you, Dad, it's just, I want to be wild and free. I can get about having the desire to explore beyond the property of your home, but they go on walks. Every day! And during the Independence picnic, all the dogs are off of their leashes, even Scamp's sisters. So, what is my point here? Simple. This story didn't need to happen. Scamp would have been like his sisters, loving baths, beds, and following rules. Scamp's reasons literally came out of nowhere. The animal catcher is so pathetic and embarrassing in the sequel. In the first movie, we went from this generic guy who generally feels like he wants to help the dogs find a home, to this thin, bumbling idiot bucktooth who seems to hate animals of every species. Obviously, the writers went towards this direction as to not scare a younger audience, but when a villain is this clumsy and comical, they're not a convincing threat. Maybe that's why Disney sequels get the hate that they have. Take Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, for example. And another pathetic attempt in this movie are the junkyard dogs. They serve no importance and aren't interesting. Like, not at all. I can't even remember their names.
Hey, watch it!
Oh, be still my heart. I'm getting a bad case of puppy love.
Half of the movie's story is predictable, and it leaves very little surprises along the way, and that wasn't a typo when I said half, because there's plenty of surprises in this movie. They're just extremely stupid. I straight up knew that Buster was going to be the antagonist, and it's not because he's a Rottweiler, no, but because of his cocky smile, that air of egotism, and the creepy comments he makes towards Angel, telling her that she's this girl. Isn't she underage in dog years? But I guess he's not entirely predictable, because I was so sure we were going to get a big fight scene with Buster snapping his jaws, and I thought I was right when he and Tramp reunited, but instead, his defeat is so unpredictable because it's so bad and lame. Scamp literally didn't have to do much to defeat him, and then with no foreshadowing at all of his gang members decide that being a house dog is the life for them and then take off. Really, no hint whatsoever, and they never mention the thought of being taken in by a human. Honestly, that's just a garbage excuse of a conclusion for a bunch of extremely minor characters who have nothing interesting about them at all. And the plan Buster has to get rid of Scamp just seems so illogically complicated that it bothers me. You know what? Why don't I just tweak the story a bit to how I think it should have been? Cause I haven't done something like this since Pinocchio. The idea I have in mind is more cliché than the story, but it could have actually worked better than the hour and 20 minutes of bullshit I had to soak up. First off, play it almost exactly how it did in the movie, but with these few changes. In the beginning, have it where Tramp tells his kids about his adventures before he was taken in, instead of hiding the fact, which would make Scamp have the thought of freedom and desire to be cool like him. Then during the father and son fight outside, Tramp tries to explain to him that it's not as fun as what it seems and that he himself is happier with his family and owners. Scamp ignores this, which would still make him an ungrateful and stubborn character, but it would be acceptable to the audience because we know that his wants and desires are clouding his parents' reasonings. Fast forward through the movie, and during the test Buster sets up for Scamp, he slowly starts to get concerned from how impressive Scamp is, because he might overthrow him as pack leader when he gets bigger. And when he finds out that he's the son of Tramp, who's like Mufasa to all the stray dogs in town, he gets scared and decides to kill Scamp while he still has the chance. Angel, who finds out his plan, runs off to get the other pack dogs to save Scamp, and for good measure, she gets Tramp as well. That would still put Tramp in use and make the junkyard dogs have importance. Buster takes Scamp someplace private and then literally tries to kill him. It's a little dark, but it would make him a very intimidating villain. The other dogs then arrive and either two things happen, or both if they can fit it in. 1. A huge kick-ass battle happens, or 2. Buster starts manipulating them, trying to save his own neck. Something in the League of the Crooked Man from Telltale's The Wolf Among Us, Fairy Godmother from Shrek 2, Hopper from A Bug's Life, and, dare I say it, that mayor guy from The Nut Job. After Buster's defeat, whether it's by death or the dog catcher, Tramp introduces the junkyard dogs to a humane society, showing them humans who will actually work hard to find them a home. After they all enter inside, Scamp and his father stops Angel and invites her to be a part of their family, and then you just play out the ending how it already was. I can't believe that I'm ranting and raving over a puppy sequel for kids. So why don't I just move straight onto the positives? I'll start with the new character. Angel is actually a surprisingly good character, and her backstory is very realistic and sad, and I pretty much rooted for her when she was calling out Scamp. Her voice actress kinda shares the same problem as Scamp's, but you barely notice it after a while. You obviously get a sense of a father and son theme in this, and while it has a couple of cringy moments, mainly from the dialogue choice and delivery, it's nothing too harmful. Tramp is actually better than his first movie counterpart. He generally felt like a concerned and caring father, instead of introducing his son into, I don't know, the dark parts of the internet. The unfortunate part about this, however, is that we don't see much of Lady, and the movie doesn't give her enough attention, and it doesn't make sense given that she's voiced by Jodie Benson, who played Ariel in The Little Mermaid. The movie that literally saved the company's skin. And that's pretty much it regarding the movie, and the only thing left now are the songs. Thankfully, they're an improvement compared to Peter Pan 2, but they're not the best thing you'll ever find. As always, I'll rank them from worst to best. In 5th and last place is New England Town. The singers were okay, but this as an opening is so corny that it rots my brain. 4th place, Junkyard Society. It drags on a bit and is probably one of the weakest villain sequel songs I've seen, but its tune is acceptable, so I'll give it that. 3rd place, Didn't Know I Could Feel This Way. While the lyrics are hard to catch up with, it's a nice little romantic song and is pretty underrated. Yeah, I said it. 2nd place, A World Without Fences, is an energetic bop that alarmingly fits during the pandemic. 1st place, Family. How funny is it that the first song is in last place and the last song is in first? It's absolutely beautiful, and it actually brings in Roger Bart, Susan Egan, and Jodie Benson into one song. So that was my Lady and the Tramp 2 review. This is hardcore average for a film, and it's filled with a couple things I like and a bucket full of cringe and problems. Instant 4 out of 10, this rating won't change. And now for the next Disney movie on our list, Sleeping Beauty. It's beloved by all, and unfortunately has a sequel that turned Aurora into a spoiled bitch. Guess I gotta review that too, right? Oh wait, Sleeping Beauty 2 isn't all a movie, is it? Haha! Nobody is smart but me!